members of the audience can see, we only have a quorum because there's 4 people here. So if Cindy's not feeling well, she came out of the house sick, so we're hoping that she can stay for the whole meeting. If at any point she has to leave because she's not feeling well, we lose our quorum.
Sam, can you get my folder on the desk there where I was sitting?
Okay, Mayor, let's try to get this, through this as quickly as we
Yeah,
can.
can we go
Can
through?
I get a motion to come out of the closed session and proceed with the work session?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Adoption of a previous month's minute and the closed session of the Mayor Council October 24, 2022, and the Mayor and Council meeting October 24, 2022. Consent agenda resolution 2022-270 through resolution 2022-290. Off consent agenda resolution 2022-291 through 2022-295. Second reading and the public hearing ordinance 2022-11. Ordinance 2022-12.
Okay, before we open up to the public, there are a couple of things that we need to make changes on. Resolution 2022-278. We need to table that. And also amend off consent agenda 2022-293 to the police promotion to chief and approving contract.
You don't have to table it.
Yep.
You don't have to table it.
Oh, no, make changes
Oh.
to the original listing.
Okay. And then you have to, Mayor, you have to table the second reading for the salary ordinances because, just so the public's aware, that was initially introduced in October. And then it was advertised for a hearing in November. Some of our regulars know, the November meeting did not take place because of a lack of a quorum. And then special meetings didn't take place because of a lack of a quorum. So that ordinance, the hearing had to be re-advertised. And it had to be re-advertised 7 days prior to whatever meeting it was going to have the hearing on. It was not re-advertised for tonight, because we weren't sure we were gonna have a quorum until very recently. So that ordinance cannot be acted upon because it was not advertised for a second hearing. And next year, it will have to be reintroduced on a first reading, because when the calendar year ends, the life of the ordinance ends, and you gotta start over. So next year, those 2 ordinances will have to be reintroduced.
Can I ask a
Those,
question?
both 11 and 12, right?
Yeah.
11 and 12,
11 and 12.
yeah.
Alright, so I have a question on that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect budget?
Well, unfortunately, if it was adopted this year, the salaries are taken out of this year's budget. But because it will not be adopted this year, it has to go into next year's budget. So next year's budget has to fund the salary increases for 2022 and the salary increases for 2023.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so in order for that not to happen, I had scheduled 2 special meetings, but we could not meet the quorum, and unfortunately, we ran out of time. So it has to be addressed next year. And so,
Then I have a question. If, that was not budgeted for this year, doesn't it mean that usually we budget for the next year only?
No, you could budget 2 increases in 1 year,
Right.
but it's just that it increases your budget for next year. So in other words, if next year the salary increases were $100,000, that would have been for 2023. So now that has to be $200,000, and I'm making up the number, I don't know what the number is. Because you have to budget for 2022 and 2023.
Doesn't make sense, people already got paid.
I think some, not everybody, just the ones on the contract,
I
yeah.
think
But then we
I
still
don't know. We have to
have
check
some
with
kind of
Roy.
money
You
left
know?
over for that portion, no?
That money goes into surplus.
Do you know?
Right, and then, still,
know?
then,
Yes, there should be money left over, and that goes into surplus, and then the money would
so
have to
once
be
it
out.
goes to the surplus, we cannot take it out and use it for the salary, no?
No, you could use it for anything in surplus. Well, the surplus is used to offset, if you want, to offset the tax increase. So it wouldn't be specifically for that. So next year, if the tax increase was gonna be 10 points, and you had money in surplus, you could use the surplus to fund the entire budget to reduce the tax levy. So,
So that means, if there was money that, goes into the surplus, and we didn't pay to the people, we eventually gonna pay to the people, right? Pay.
If you adopt the ordinances,
So-
yes, you're gonna have to
Right, so if
eventually,
we adopt the ordinance, that we're gonna use that money to pay for 2022,
and
then
twenty
we can do
twenty-three.
that, right?
Yes.
Without, increasing.
There's
the
ways to
tax
do it,
portion
right,
for
but
that.
it just increases your overall,
Sure, okay,
Expenses.
it increases your overall expense
thank
for
you
next
so
year.
much.
Did you take the DPW?
Also, off consent agenda 2022-295, authorization of DPW promotions, that has to be tabled, because we have asked the, borough administrator to provide information as to what the details for the promotions, positions, the increased salaries and job descriptions and whatnot, it was not provided. Without having that information, we can't further discuss, so, and we did have an agenda meeting, and still, our board administrator, nor DPW, anybody represented themselves to provide information, so as a result, we're gonna have to table that.
Okay, so we need on all the items just mentioned, you need a motion and second.
I see, okay.
So
I
can I
wanna
get a
make
motion to
table it?
With Cindy recusing herself on the
Yeah, I was
police
gonna
matters.
say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a second,
Second? Can I get a second? Okay.
and a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Chang?
So I wanna table it?
Yes, so just so you guys say yes.
Yes. And Counselor Min?
Yes.
Counselor Pereira?
I recuse from police matters.
And yes on the
Yes and
other.
no's.
Okay.
Okay, now,
Counselor report?
no, we gotta now open it.
Open to the public, yeah, we're gonna go to the regular meeting.
Yeah, can I get a motion to open to the public?
I wanna make a motion to open to the public.
Second. All in favor? Okay, anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Susan Brown, I'm not sure I understand, you said all consent agenda items, 293 and 294 has to be changed?
No, there was we updated 293 to the police, promotion and approving contract for the chief.
All right, so it doesn't change what's on the agenda?
No.
Just, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Is this a working session or
Yes.
regular?
Yes.
Working session, right? Okay. So I have a question. You said 278, resolution 278. Is that going to be in?
We tabled that.
Or the table there, okay. And then, there is something called 291. What is it? Adoption of tort claim form?
We received a letter from our insurance carrier, recommending a new form when someone wants to file a claim against the borough. The law requires them to complete a tort claim form, that's what it's called, and they updated the form, and the council has to approve it. So we're just approving the new form that's being recommended by our insurance company.
And also 283, authorization of Medicare Part B coverage reimbursement. I haven't seen this many agendas, so I bet this is really one of the routine work.
This is
But I
routine.
have a question. Okay, so this applies for the retired employees,
Correct.
right? Is that applied to all the retired?
Yes,
Oh, really?
in Palisade Park and in every town in the state of New Jersey.
I mean, no other company pays their coverage,
Again,
Part B
It's the
coverage.
same for every town in the state of New Jersey.
Wow, it's, must have a job with the town. Okay, another question is, okay, this year, I don't see any free parking service during the holidays. So what happens? Because every other town has a free parking. Is there, if this is some kind of missed, chances missed, then is it possible one of you propose?
I think the council previously voted to have the free parking.
But it's not going
But
on.
it's not free parking.
You're gonna have, well, I don't know what it is, well, I guess.
The
it's
holiday is
just
almost done.
All right,
But
so-
even holidays almost done, you can have at least 2 weeks.
Who will be charged for that?
I mean, anyone.
I think, it was never approved, because
Randall,
you didn't have
right?
November, you didn't have November's meeting.
I was on for November.
Oh, was it on and we
All right.
didn't get a chance to approve it?
Yeah.
So approve it tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Add it on to the
Don't
new
you have to put
business.
the bags on the neighbors?
Yeah, we put a thing over it to stop them.
Thank you. My last question is, now, 293 and 294 looks like it's about Officer Espino.
Yes.
And so, promoted to chief, I'm sure that he's a good officer,
Right
right?
now, he's the
But
officer in charge.
what I'd like to understand is, what's the criteria for promotion? What's the
Okay, so
qualification?
this was the criteria. The mayor and council had previously, a few months ago, voted to post for the position and conduct interviews. So, police committee, which consisted of the mayor and Councilman Park, conducted interviews, reviewed his performance, because he's basically been the chief for over how long now?
Since May.
6 months? So he's actually been the, let's say, acting chief, otherwise called the officer in charge for the past 6 months. And the police committee, felt that he's been doing a very good job, and they were recommending him to the council to be promoted. So
But
that-
he's the one who has we have an outstanding lawsuit.
Well, that's gonna be resolved tonight.
Yeah, but, so the resolve that one first before promotion.
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna all be done at the same time.
If this is happening, then, anyone wants to file a lawsuit to promote, right?
Well,
This is a set
One-
model.
one has nothing to do with the other. And anybody can file a lawsuit for anything.
And then really.
File a lawsuit, then get promoted, it looks like one of good deed is file a lawsuit. But, I don't think this is really, you really doing that, setting up the good model here.
Thank you. Anyone else? I don't see any other hands raised. May I have a motion to close the public session and move on?
Yeah, she have.
Go ahead.
Suchong, 237 is Central Market. The resolution 285, can you tell me about what, really detail about what service is it? What is-
285 is a resolution, it's a shared service agreement with the Northwest Bergen Utilities Authority, that we get to use their camera equipment rather than buy our own if there's a sewer issue. Typically, when there's a sewer issue, you have to run the line, a camera through line to see where the problem is. So this is a way for the town to save money without having to buy the equipment themselves. They get to enter into an agreement with a county agency, another public entity, and we use their equipment. So it saves the town money to do it this way.
So this authority is just one Bergen County and Northwest, or there are other companies that?
No, this is the Northwest Utility, it's a public entity. They're responsible for providing sewer services to a section of communities in Bergen and I think, I don't know if it's another county as well. It's like the Bergen County Utilities Authority.
What the TV inspection mean?
They run a camera in the line, and then you see it on the screen, and
Okay,
it tells you where the problem is in the line.
okay,
Otherwise, you'd have to rip up the whole line to find where the little crack was.
okay.
And every 2 years, we sign a contract.
Every 2 years?
Yeah.
Thank you. And another one is also about the consent agenda for the police promotion. That I know, I heard about good things about Mr. Espino, but I'm not really, problem with his software. But just, it's public knowledge that if somebody is, any police officer involved with any lawsuit against the town, or we actually, as a residents, we never actually heard of any settlements and after all
Well,
the internal
you don't get-
investigation thing.
You don't get to hear about it until it's resolved.
Right, but then we just heard the promotion news first, then I don't think your town can have any acceptance of our residents, like, so is there like a public, it's not very rare that any officers can be, head of the police while they are being involved with the lawsuits
Yeah.
against the.
There's no prohibition, there's not, there's no prohibition against someone being involved in a lawsuit and being promoted, absolutely not. This settlement, by the way, was mediated by a federal district court judge who recommended the settlement, and the insurance company attorney who recommended the settlement. So,
Okay, so although there's no lawsuit, there's still, he was in a subject of the promotion to the chief.
yeah, because if you did otherwise, you'd be subject to another lawsuit, it's called retaliation.
Okay.
You can't, if someone feels they have a viable complaint, and you say, well, you filed a complaint, so we're not gonna give you a promotion, that's gonna create another lawsuit. Again, it's called retaliation. You cannot retaliate against an employee if they feel they've been injured in some way and file a complaint against the town. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but if you want to create another lawsuit, if the town were to say, we're not promoting you because you filed a lawsuit, we'd have another lawsuit. So I would strongly recommend using that as a reason, against using that as a reason.
Mary Potter for Glen Avenue. Regarding to 294 and 293, I have a question. I'm not really familiar. What would, the requirement will be, how many people that you interview for as a police chief, besides Mr. Espino? Again, I don't have nothing against Mr. Espino, but I would like to know if would be more a candidate, and how who choose, this is the qualification, or this is the person that we decide to promote.
Okay, so we have posted the position, and everyone that has signed up for each of the positions were given an opportunity to interview. And amongst, for the chief position, there was only one person who signed up, and we had interviewed him, and we felt that he met the criteria and qualifications with his experience and all the trainings that he's gone through and number of years of service in Palisades Park. And that was the choice that we made.
And Chris, one other comment I wanna make. Because of the unique situation when you didn't have a chief here, and he was the officer in charge, he was on a 6-month interview. He had 6 months as being in charge of the department to prove himself. That's more of a process than anywhere in the state of New Jersey, because most times, they have never served as the head of the department before they get the promotion. Typically, they may be a deputy chief or a captain, and then they get the promotion without knowing how that person's going to perform, he or she, in the position. In this case, because of the unique circumstances, Captain Espino has been in a 6-month review period. So that's the criteria that was used, the 6-month review. Pretty extensive.
Anyone else? Okay, can I get a motion to close the public session and go right into the regular session, please?
Make a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, this is a regular meeting of the mayor and council, and notice was given as follows. 1, notice was filed April 27, 2022, with the Record and Newark Star Ledger, both official newspapers of the borough. 2, notice was posted on the bulletin board, and 3, copies preserved in the clerk's office. Roll call, please.
Council Jang,
Here. Council
Council Kim will be absent tonight, and Councilman,
Here.
Council Hall will be absent tonight, and the Council Pereira.
Here.
The Council Victory will be absent tonight, and the Borough Attorney.
Here.
And the Borough Administrator also will be absent tonight. And the adoption of a previous month's minute.
Yeah, do a minute.
Okay. The closed session of the Mayor Council, October 24, 2022, and Mayor Council meeting, October 24, 2022.
Can I get a motion to accept these minutes, please?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to go a little bit.
Dispense with the regular order of business.
What's that?
It's a motion to dispense with the regular order of business.
Yes. I would like to make a recommendation, appoint,
Well, first you gotta get a motion and second to dispense with the regular order of business.
okay,
I'm gonna make a motion.
all
You can
all
say
in
roll.
favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, now you can go ahead.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to appoint our Captain Espino as Chief of Palisades Park Police Department, and I'd like to swear him in at this point.
Okay, well,
Council Jang
Yes.
and Councilman.
Who?
Council.
Yes.
Sounds like you're saying council.
And
man.
Councilman
Council
Pereira has to
Pereira.
I
recuse.
recuse.
Yep.
Okay, now everybody can applaud.
I would like to have these officers stand up with me since my family's not here today. And if you guys can come up here while I get sworn in, please, I appreciate it. All the police officers, thank you.
I got it.
After I please state your name. I
Anthony Espino,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the Office of Chief of Palisades Park Police Department
of the office of Chief of Police of the Palisades Park Police Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Mr. Scavino. Congratulations.
Yeah, so while we're on the subject, can we also, let's move on to consent agenda 2022-293, approving his contract.
We need a motion and
Can I
second.
get a motion to approve the contract as well? Motion. Thank you. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Council Jan,
Yes.
Council Min,
Yes.
Council Pereira,
Next, Mayor, let's do 294, approval of the settlement.
Okay. And along with that, we'll move on to the next one, 2022-294. Authorization of settlement agreement and release
As recommended.
as recommended. So can I get a motion? Motion. Thank you,
I'll second it.
thank you. Roll call, please.
Council Jan,
Yes.
Council Min,
Yes.
Council Pereira.
Okay, okay, so we're done with the.
Now, Mayor, before we vote, we didn't have an opportunity to discuss this in the work session. Sophia reminded me, there's a resolution on tonight to approve a contract for West Ruby. Was that road paving on it? Okay, so the borough administrator, has concerns about the low bidder and, wants the council to consider to disqualify that low bidder. We can't disqualify them without providing them with a hearing. We have to give them notice of why they would be disqualified. I asked the borough engineer to supply a summary of why, he feels that the, low bidder should be disqualified, but we don't have that for tonight. So my recommendation is that you table that, until you're able to make a decision as to whether the low bidder should be disqualified, because then prior to awarding the contract to the next low bidder, we'd have to go through the process of disqualification.
So is that 290?
290.
290, to be tabled.
So you wanna make a motion?
We need a motion and second.
Make a
Can I
motion.
get a motion to table?
I make a motion to.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. 278, we already said we're gonna table that.
Yeah, that was done with work session. Same deal.
I got that motion.
Motion second.
What we did during the work session. So you could just do a roll call the same. Okay, so now you can rest, other than those items that are tabled, you need a motion for the other items on.
Consent agenda.
Yeah, so can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda resolution minus the two items that we have tabled? Motion.
Oh, wait, 'cause Cindy, you gotta recuse yourself from 281, which was the updated police department rules and regulations.
Right.
So can I get a motion to accept? those motions, please? Resolutions?
I
Okay,
second it.
okay, roll call please.
Council John?
So except 287 and 290 to be tabled, right?
Yes.
278.
Just
Yes.
There's a few.
278.
278.
Two- 278.
Yes,
well,
yeah.
278 and 290.
Yes.
278 and,
290.
Yes.
290, right, okay.
Roll call.
Councilman
Yes.
and Council Pereira?
I recuse for 281, yes to the rest.
No, you have, still have appropriation
Yeah, appropriation of consent agenda.
and closed session. But vote on them separately. Oh, well, no, you did,
We did the closed session.
yeah, so just do 292.
Yes.
You just have to, okay, I make a
Alright,
motion
So
to,
can I have a motion to adopt the off consent agenda resolution 2022-292?
I make a motion. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Second?
Okay, roll call please.
Council John?
Yes.
Councilman?
Yes.
Council Pereira?
Yes.
Okay, I think we've covered everything else. Okay, do we have any new business that we want to entertain?
Now, before new business, you gotta open to the, you have council reports,
And open.
and then you have to open to the public.
Before we could address the.
Yeah.
All right,
Council
council reports, Councilman Lin?
Today's my last day. It was my pleasure serving the town. I learned a great deal about politics. Met many good friends, and I'm sorry to the people that don't like me. But yeah, it's kind of sappy that I will no longer be here, but I get to spend more time with my son at home. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you over the last 4 years.
Thank you. My report, I actually had a lot of questions throughout the whole year, and most of them were not really answered. So I'm going to keep on asking questions next year. And also, there were many mistakes I made throughout the year because that was my first year. And then I really thank everyone in town and also council that you've been very patient with me and try to believe me what I'm doing. And also, I try to sincerely cooperate with the school board, and we've been doing things together. And I hope that it has been helpful for school board as well. And I'm really open to, whatever the things going on in school board, I'm willing to be a part of it. And also, thirdly, I wanna recognize the mayor, Christopher Chung, has been here for 4 years. And I was here only for 1 year, but also Councilman Andy Min. I feel sad for, it is our last day for both of them, and I thank both of them, so thank you so much.
Andy, very sad to see you go. You've become truly a friend. I wish there was a little bit more of a festivity tonight to honor you and also the mayor. I think that somehow Palisade Park has lost a sense of camaraderie, it's lost a sense of respect, quite frankly. And I plan on spending my next year making sure maybe we bring some of that back to light. I find it extremely disturbing. Maybe I'm only an opinion of one because of the person of who I am, whether people think they know me or not. But I think it's been a pleasure working with both of you, and I thank both of you for your time that you've given to Palisade Park, because we should all be at least appreciative of that, whether we all agree or don't agree. Anthony, I wish you much success in your new position, and hopefully you can also raise up
some awareness and some new camaraderie and some new life into the police department. And that goes for all of us here. We're all responsible equally to try to bring everybody together. So let's hope for 2023 that that's the new vision and that the new mayor will bring forth some of that. And we all try working together for a common goal of just making Palisade Park a better, happier place for us all to live, because we do live here. But I wish everybody the best, and being with your son's the best thing, so it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Espino, do you have anything to report?
No, as far as I wanna thank you for your trust in me and putting me in this position. I know it's gonna be tough shoes to follow, but I'm looking forward to it. I got an excellent team. I couldn't be more proud of the guys that work. I'm very confident that we're gonna work together very well. We're gonna see what we need to get done to get this town, in the right direction as far as safety goes, and we wanna be here for the residents, whatever we can do. My door is always open. Please come see me. I'd be more than happy to talk to anyone, any concerns you may have. I look forward to working with you, Mayor, for the last 6 months as OIC. We had nice meetings, and, I can see you really had a passion for the town, and you still got on me, which I'm gonna move forward as well. And I wanna thank the council, because you guys have been wonderful as well. Over the 6 months, there was a lot of things I asked if I can do or not, and your support was really helpful for me to move forward in doing so. So again, like I said, I'm looking forward to the task ahead. I'm looking forward to work with the next mayor coming in, and I'm just gonna do the best I can, that's all I can say. And again, I thank you for your support and belief in me. Thank you.
I too like to say thank you to all the residents of Palisades Park for giving me an opportunity to serve you. 4 years went by really quick. It seems like yesterday I started my tenure, but it's been 4 years already. And many good things we've done together. And I may no longer be a mayor sitting up here, but you know what? I will still be around to lend a hand. And this brings to the closure of this chapter of my life. But then again, that's not the end of it. You know what? I start a new chapter tomorrow, next month. So I'm really looking forward to further serve the residents of Palisades Park as one of the residents. So thank you again for your opportunity. May I get a motion to open to the public at this time?
Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone out in the public would like to be heard? Yes, ma'am.
Susan Brower, just quickly, on the free parking, cause I had a lot of store.
Glad you brought that up. Did you guys approve that? Okay, they still have to approve the free park.
Okay, because they were really anxious to know the dates and all that. It'll be very welcome.
Yeah, they have to be close to the public and, yeah.
Great. The reorganization meeting, do we know when that is?
As of now, June. January.
Tuesday, January 3rd.
Third, right? Yeah.
January 3rd. Morning, evening?
6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Should we come sober?
It's up to you.
Where? What's the place? Lindbergh,
Okay.
Here.
Here
Yeah.
Here.
or Lindbergh?
Here.
No, here.
And just one more quick question. On the agenda, the off consent agenda, item 292, the authorization of appropriations. Did that include anything that we've now removed or tabled, as far as cost?
I don't believe so, because the one that was, I think that the money was in place in the budget for the salary increases, and with respect to the promotions in the DPW, one of the items that was missing were the salaries, so that couldn't have been included in the appropriations because there was no numbers provided. I would think anyway. That was some of the information that was requested as to what the salary increases would be, and it was never provided.
All right, thank you, and good luck.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
No, Yvonne Wanyan, 268 Highland. Regarding this 288, what's the managed off-site backup service program? What is this program about?
Oh, that's like the cloud, that's the offsite,
All the information?
yeah.
that-
So in
okay,
case
to archive?
there's a crash here, it's saved in another site
For the building department,
for the building
For
department.
the building department?
yes.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Another question I have is like, 294, it's a settlement agreement. What's the settlement amount?
$40,000.
45,000?
$40,000.
$40,000.
$40,000.
Oh, okay.
That's all inclusive.
Everything, that's everything. All fees, everything, that's the total. It would cost us more money to fight it.
It's nothing.
Oh, it's not nothing, but it's a lot lower than, you
It's a
know.
lot
the
lower
lot,
than all
right.
the other ones.
Yeah. But it's not nothing. $40,000 is a lot. of
No, it's
money.
the insurance company, they consider that, the insurance company considers that a nominal amount.
Nominal, that's the word.
That's the word they use, not me, that's what they said.
Neris?
Now, today is a sad day for me because I was part of bringing Christopher John in this place, and I feel very proud of what I did. And regardless that we have yes and no, because I'm part of this community, but I feel very sad that we didn't continue, and we didn't agree on a lot of stuff that we started, but this is life, and, you know, things change as we go. And I just hope for this coming year that all our council members have some kind of a different way of doing things. Like, for example, today they should be here, and we should have a meeting previously, so I hope we work together, even though we not agreeing in a lot of stuff. Because not agree doesn't mean we don't have the same, looking for, like we want the best for this, for our town. And a lot of the time we not agree, but that doesn't mean we not live here. We think different. And I wish you the best, Christopher John. And, you know, I hope that you continue hope and think doing differently as you did before, and another thing that we started. And I hope, you know, the oncoming mayor, even that I didn't really want him, he's here, that we work. If he did a good job, here to support whatever he do. And every council that is sitting in there, because I'm not here to just say, you're not doing a good job, just to do it better. Andy Min, thank you for your service, and enjoy your son. And I hope I see you around. Thank you, and happy holiday for everybody. And Mr. Espino, congratulations, and let's make it better.
Thank you.
I know you can. Thank you.
I'm gonna go there. Or I'm not gonna yell.
You don't have microphone.
My name is Youngmin Jung, 50 East Coast Boulevard. As a resident, you know, every month, I love to just come here to sit and observe and just like, you know, gather information about what's going on, what will happen to our town. And we had like elections last November 8th, as you know, like everybody knows about like biggest like BOE elections and council and also mayor's election. But I believe I want to say that this is the end of the year of the 2022, and we are voters and taxpayers, and you just like also I appreciate Andy Means and Christopher John as a councilman and mayor. And also you just, you know, appreciate and give thanks to each other about like and helping each other and cooperating each other, work together each other. And also the most important thing is residents. We have many residents, more than 20,000, but like every month at this time, we are here to observe. You know, like I heard about like 3 kinds of dog. Number 1 is, I think, lap dog. And number 2 is guard dog. Number 3 is watchdog. I have just like, I wish I have just like guard dog, but I do not have a lot of position. But I have lap dog. I happy without lap dog. But like we compare that as a resident, we wanna watch and observe. And we have a power to vote, and you're all positioned, even including employers, civil servants. Our tax money is supposed to just go to your pocket, because there is no government funded, all tax money funded. So we just, in coming next year, we wanna just observe and keep and watch everything, what's going on. We are not, as a resident, parking problem and police, department management and a lot of lawsuits and settlement. We are not very happy. We are not very proud about like Palisades Park, because a sick day payment, just scandals happens, and then half of the councils are not here. So, but we appreciate about our endemins and participations for last 3 years as councils, and also Christopher Jones, the first Korean American mayor of the Palisades Park municipal history. We appreciate, but also we just keep watching and observe, and participate what we can do. And I want to say that, even just some people do not like me, I feel sorry, but we want to bring more people. And sometimes we want to say a lot of just compliment and keep thanks for what they are doing. But until that moment, we're gonna keep our part. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Central Boulevard. So did you say the mayor council reorganization meeting will be made here,
Yeah.
not the Lindbergh School?
No, it's here. It's always here. It's here. This same
They
place
said
over there.
Lindbergh
Well,
before.
we, actually, what was that, the Lindbergh thing, January 3rd?
January 3rd is the reorganization meeting. It's Tuesday, 6 o'clock here in this building.
But
The
we
resolution
voted
here
in the,
stating that we
in
have
the
to be here.
Board of Education meeting, we voted that and approved.
That it was
the board.
Oh, but then they'll have.
It was
Next
in
meeting.
Lindbergh from 5 PM to 9 AM, so I made a lot of questions, I've never seen that. This
Well,
time.
nobody told the mayor and council that, so they'll have to figure that out.
So we voted for something that was not existing.
Well, the people here were never informed of that. So the council would have to vote to have it over there, and maybe they will, I don't know what, they may have to call a special meeting.
Between the school and the,
Yeah, me too.
no.
Your email said here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
same.
what I'm saying.
No, our resolution says 275 Broad Avenue.
Yeah, we got an email that says here.
A
So,
lot of people got Lindbergh.
We voted actually, because it was in agenda.
Yeah.
okay, that's something that we could look into.
Okay, thank you. And then one more question, not question, but, Captain Espino's congratulations, and then I actually have I don't know if it's, Mayor Jung, that I read the many questions regarding on this Central Boulevard car accidents for past year. And even during the Thanksgiving week, I saw 3 accidents on the Central Boulevard in person. That's just in person thing. And then maybe there's more accidents that I haven't seen in person. So it has been very many accidents that I feel really not safe. And then I don't know if you remember a year ago that Mayor Chung actually asked Mr. Sean Lee, at that time he was in officer in charge, to investigate and make a log of the car accidental rate and then try to solve the problem, but I never actually heard back from him or the council. So
So they can ask the chief.
yeah, it's like, I saw the other signs around the school area, but my question is about 15th Street towards the Bargain Boulevard. They are really speeding and that's how accidents. So, Captain Espinola, I'm really in favor of that to investigate.
I can answer that for you now. Actually, I had Sergeant Kasparich look into that for me, and we found that area, there are accidents like you're saying,
Yeah.
but believe it or not, throughout the town,
Yeah.
that has the least accidents, am I correct, John?
It was towards the lower end of accidents on Central Boulevard. We had a higher amount on Homestead, East Palisades. That's where the primary accidents, like the bulk of them are happening. It's a very low percentage in that county roadway. I used the state's crash analysis tool, and it showed that there's a very low percentage right there. But if you're saying something just happened on Thanksgiving, that's not in that tool, it's not been
But I
tabulated yet with
enabled
the
the
state.
global size throughout the year, that's how I raised it
Yeah.
up a year ago.
And not only that, the last September meeting, I raised that again. And so that time, I think Mr. Lorenzo asked, Officer Espino about it, but he wasn't aware of it.
Yeah,
So,
it was brought to
I-
my attention, I'm sorry.
right,
That's
so,
why I
so
had him look
I
into
think
it.
the traffic accident rate, general statistics about this town compared with the, last year and this year, all those information, we need it.
So do you have a list that I can ask, any like a car accident history?
I actually have, I'm sorry I don't have them with me, because, so I just actually prepared it for me, and I didn't bring it with me tonight. I'll bring them next week.
Alright, so we'll address it next month. Anyone else? May I get a motion to close?
So you have to, please approve the free holiday
Yeah, new
parking.
business, we have to do new business. We got a motion to close to the public in a second.
Can I get a motion?
I did, I made a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Okay, now you need a motion on the new business to extend the free parking, what's the date? I guess from
I
today,
know that we discussed 15 through January 2nd, I believe, those were the dates.
so the dates will now be the 23rd
Through
January
January.
2nd. You need a motion and second.
So,
Make a motion.
okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So that's.
So we can safely tell people, store owners and restaurant owners, we can give them those dates
Yes,
without a problem.
we'll put it on the
Okay, thank
website
you.
as well, too. All right, having said that, any new business?
So I would like to make a motion, to promote Sergeant Gasparovich to the rank of captain.
Okay, so we have a motion, anybody, second? Okay, thank you. Well, now we have to vote on it, right, because we have the motion, so now, can I get a motion to accept, Councilman Min's request to promote Sergeant Gasparovich to Captain Gasparovich? Can I get a motion?
They made a motion. And a second. We need a roll call.
No, we need a roll call for that.
Counselor Chang,
Yes.
Counselor Min,
Yes.
Counselor Pereira,
Okay, so approved. Sergeant? No, Captain? We should come up with-
No.
This is a joke.
Invite somebody else.
Chief, you wanna hold?
Fino l'agenda, vabbè.
They have to resend it. Who vote for this? Does Stephanie vote for this?
Yeah.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support
support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
This is a
and to the
joke.
governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the
Dice de
people,
aquí, Juan.
under the authority of the people,
Ellos le
and that I
pegan
will
la mano.
faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of captain in Palisades Park Police Department
of the office of Captain of the Palisades Park Police Department
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
You have more? Who says? Lo metieron sin vaselina.
get a motion to adjourn and, close the meeting? Close the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Merry Christmas to everyone.
Happy holidays.